The thought that I would have to live in a community that is as backwards as the KKK didn't even occur to me. Hurricane Katrina forced me to relocate to Poplarville, Mississippi, and it's been quite a sickening revelation of just how hateful humans can be towards each other. Never before have I seen hatred of this magnitude, and it nearly shook my faith in humanity. I met two local business owners who just happened to be a gay male couple. This is their story.
My name is Mark, and this is Michael. We've been together now for 25 years, and we live in Poplarville, Mississippi. Yeah, even our friends are surprised we've been together this long. It's just like any other relationship. We love each other, and we're with each other till the dire end.
Men and women often struggle with who they really are, and often find themselves married to someone they know in their heart they don't belong with.
When I was married, I finally made a decision to leave my wife. I knew I was going to leave. I just didn't know when I was going to do it. And I was sitting in my office one Friday afternoon, and it hit me, and I said, today's the day. I went home, told my wife, I said, I always told you one day I was going to leave, and today's that day. My wife was so angry, she used the kids as a weapon, and from the time my oldest son, or my youngest son was about 3 years old up until his 17th birthday, I didn't see him.
You could doubt yourself for a lifetime, but love and acceptance often comes from an unexpected place. Children seem to have a better grasp of what love means than most grown-ups.
They had found my brother's children, I believe it was Fort Worth, in a hotel with his ex-wife. The kids were sleeping on the floor. Since my brother and his wife were over-the-road truck drivers, they couldn't bring the kids home to them because they were gone for weeks at a time. So they requested that they come stay with Michael and I. So we welcomed the kids into our home, and they lived with us for 6 years. During that 6 years, we had many conversations. Tara came home school one day, and she sat in my lap, and she said, "Uncle Mark," she says, "do you like boys?" I wasn't taken aback or anything, because, these are questions that kids ask, and the kids are some of the most honest people you'll ever meet. And I told her very honestly, yes, I do. And she said, okay, and that was it. That was the end of the conversation. The following week, she got in a fight in school because a little girl in her school was making fun of somebody that was gay, and she hit her and said, well, my two uncles are gay and I love them. And I didn't know whether I should punish her because I was kind of proud of her. But in the same aspect, I can't have fighting in school. So it was one of those, okay, I'm going to punish you with ice cream. But that was one of the big conversations between my niece and I.
My son has had several fights with his coworkers at work. They would be talking about gay people or fags or queers, and and how they had beat him up or pushed him down. He would literally jump on him and beat him up. And he would let him know that my dad is gay. It makes me really proud, but it also hurts me inside because he has to defend me. Sometimes as much as I love him, sometimes I feel in a way I may have let him down by not being, like everybody else's dad.
Some people refuse to do business with someone simply because they are gay, and will go as far as boycotting their business.
I would find out from other customers, that we would lose customers because they didn't want to come in here because we were gay. And, it's sort of heart-wrenching at times over, someone not wanting to do business with you, mainly because of you being gay.
Well, the first thing we heard about from this church, and I won't give the particular denomination because not all of them are like that. Church had come to some of our customers asking if they would help them to boycott our store because it was gay-owned and operated. We've never hid who we are. We don't just directly come out and say, by the way, hi, we're gay. But people eventually figure out, oh yeah, these guys work together, they live together. Some of them don't, but the majority of them figure it out eventually. Well, the church decided that they were going to try and boycott us, and then the other excuse was because we had video games in the store. The video games were supposed to expose their children to Satan And there was even one comment thrown in there that the reason we were doing the tournaments was to bring children into our store. They threatened to boycott us, and it never went through, fortunately for us, but they never did come in and boycott. We have received some nasty letters, nastier emails, things like that. People that can bully with a pen is what I call it. But we get that from time to time. That's something you're used to.
Being treated differently by people can hurt, no matter how strong you think you really are.
I grew up with hellfire and brimstone being beat into me. You know, if I was made in his image, I have a really hard time believing that God's going to punish me and send me to hell for being the person that he made me to be. I grew up in a very strict religious home. My father and my brother would, you know, take turns beating me because I was a sissy boy. All my cousins and my brother would gang up on me all the time and beat me and, you know, throw me in these sand pits. You know, it was a deep water when I couldn't, when I didn't even know how to swim, and call me sissy boy and all kinds of names when I was younger.
We have been refused housing. It had nothing to do with our finances because we were fairly comfortable. But the couple that was renting the house met us, and her exact line was, "I don't feel comfortable with renting to your kind." Now, I've flashed back to the movies I watched in the 70s of the black people and the 60s of how they were treated, and we're getting some of the same lines that they got. Your kind, specifically, is the line that comes to mind. My kind is no different than your kind. I just love somebody of my own gender. When I was 16, a pickup truck came through, and there were 4 guys in the back and 2 in the front. They hollered some comment, and I really can't remember, it's like faggot or something like that, and 4 of them jumped out of the back of the truck with one with a tire iron. One guy just used his fist. He ended up breaking 3 of my ribs and gave me a concussion, broke my arm in 2 places, and they left me laying there on the side of the road in the park. I was lucky to have lived through it, and to this day, people ask me, you know, does that make you angry? And it doesn't make me angry. It makes me sad, because people can be that way. People can see you for being different, and because you're different, they can beat you almost to death, and not think twice about it, only because you're not what they are. And it's not their fault, it's how they were raised and in the society that they were raised in. It's just how they were taught. And so, do I get angry about it? No. I feel more sadness about it, only because it's not their fault. If you're gay, scared to tell someone of who you are, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I am who I am, and God made me who I am. I love who I love, and I will always love who I love. No one will ever be able to change that. No one will ever be able to take that away from you. Be who you are. Be strong. And if you have to, get out into your community. Visit with other people that are having some of the same issues that you are. There are groups that are all the time. There are 800 numbers you can call that can give you advice on how to deal with it. And if you can't, talk to your family members. Be honest with them, because family will always be there for you. They may not seem like they will be at first, especially if you're just coming out to them. My brother didn't speak to me for 3 weeks, and I'm a triplet. So 3 weeks of not speaking with somebody that looks just like me was rough on me. But he finally came around, and he finally says, you know, I love you. You're my family, and you'll always be my family.
Things are moving at a snail's pace, but the times are changing. Will they change enough for everyone to be equal? That part is up to you.